in-house financial advisor? Talk to us today about a complimentary financial review, keeping you and your family protected. Call us today on 0818 297 007 or visit lucancu.ie for more information. Lucan District Credit Union is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Listen online now at liffeysoundfm.ie.
Yes, indeed, you're very welcome along to the Recovery Concept with Ciarán Murray here on Liffey Sound 96.4 FM. Hope you are all keeping well for this Monday night. Yep, brilliant show last week. I was very proud of the way that meditation turned out. So a little later, going to do that again. Going to do it again this evening. Also, I may throw in another top 5 list. We'll see how the time goes. We'll see how we are. We'll see how it fits. Anyway, this is your local access radio station for Lucan and surrounding areas. We are Liffey Sound 96.4 FM, and you can check us out on liffeysoundfm.ie and all the usual social media platforms. Also, you can find this show, The Recovery Concept, on Liffey's on Facebook, The Recovery Concept, or you can also email me on recoveryconcept@liffeysoundfm.ie. So loads of ways you can get in touch here. Loads of ways you can get in touch with us. Now, I am aware that it is election season and things like that, but I'm not going to go too much into that. I'm not going to talk about it at all, to be honest with you. There's no point. But I want to talk about something quite serious. And I want to talk about something that seems like a positive. Well, alcohol consumption in Ireland has fallen by almost 1/3 so far this century, driven by more healthy, conscious young people with less disposable income. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you that is not really the reason. That's not really what's happening. So that's kind of a load of BS, to be honest with you. Because where I said that is a positive, and it is a positive, drug use has risen. So how does that work out? Now, we're not going to get into a whole debate about cannabis use and all that stuff, because people have a lot to say on it. But I do want to talk about, this is not what I want to talk about anyway. I don't want to talk about cannabis use. Well, I suppose it will be thrown in there, but what do I want to talk about with you? Many people are finding themselves attending residential and day treatment centres, and one of those, for people with addiction issues, they're attending these centres and they're getting the help they need, and it's amazing that people are getting help, but the numbers have risen, and it is shocking that that's happening. So where there's good, where there's positives, there's also negatives. However, I want to talk about one support that is out there for people going through addiction issues, and that is Tus Nua, aka New Beginnings, which is the English for Tus Nua. It's Oscuelga for anybody that doesn't understand Irish. Tus Nua was established in 1997 by concerned parents as a response to the ongoing drug addiction issues that are still very prevalent today. It is true. Drug use has gone up. So, maybe our governments will wake up. Anyway, Tus Nua, who provide a client-centred approach to their helps, are running their cocaine-specific programme, which is a 12-week model and starts on Wednesday the 27th of November at 5 bells, and it lasts for an hour. Here to tell us more about this initiative and about the organisation Tus Nua is Kelly Daly, who is a support worker from Tus Nua. Kelly, you're very welcome along to the programme. It's so great to have you on. No problem. I have to say, Kelly, do you know what? If I mention your name to anybody, I always hear great positives. I always hear you've a brilliant reputation, which is absolutely amazing. You're well loved out there, so fair play to you for that, for starters. But anyway, I wanted to start by asking you, how did you get involved with Tus Nua? Like, what prompted you?
I suppose that one of the main things is that it's a community-based organisation, and I obviously have worked in services in the city centre, and so that's something that I obviously love. The promoting just knew that it's based in the heart over here, and beside Bono, so that's kind of one of the main reasons why I got involved.
Brilliant, brilliant, and you are brilliant, and you're doing a lot of great work there, and I mean, it's a really friendly environment. It's probably one of the most friendliest environments out there. But what do Tusnua do to help their clients? How do you help people?
So Tus offers a wide variety of services. So I suppose one of them is obviously the drug intervention side, where we do one-on-one key work-ins, and obviously we offer groups as well, such as the cocaine group. We also offer family support. So obviously families that are, their siblings or daughters, sons, partners who are affected by drugs who come over and get support. And we also have counselling services, and we also do holistics as well. And for people here in the service, so we offer a wide range of services or drop in and stuff like that as well.
And when a client comes into the service or when they ring up first, do you get an idea of what that client may need?
Yeah, sometimes we probably would, sometimes we wouldn't. It depends. A lot of our services, our service users would ring the phone, and then obviously over the phone we would kind of ask what kind of support they're looking for. And so whether that's around their drug use or whether it's family support or counselling, so obviously we direct them in that area where we do a referral. And then like that, some of them do present to the service, and then one of the key workers would always go out and meet them if it is a drug intervention. If it's someone for family support, a family support worker would also come out and meet them. So it just depends on what they're actually looking for and when engaging in the service.
So there is an initial assessment over the phone done, but then obviously there's an assessment done within the building.
Yeah.
And when an individual rings up looking for help, or someone's looking for help for a loved one, which I'm assuming does happen, what can they expect over the phone? What would they be met with?
So basically, obviously, reception, will be very understanding and know that it's obviously difficult, I need to ring and probably very overwhelming as well. So, they're obviously very patient, very understanding and empathetic and towards the individuals who's obviously phoning on behalf of obviously themselves or someone else. But they would just literally ask for their name and then obviously what kind of support they're looking for. So whether it is drug work or counselling or whatever it may be, and then they would contact ourselves directly straight away, and the reception would let us know that there's someone on the phone, and we would take the phone call over there and then.
Brilliant. And are there? I know I didn't actually put this in, but are there long waiting lists, or I mean, do people be waiting long? Because I know there would be a backlog, I suppose, for a lot of services out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose that Tus Nua has really grown over the last few years, and we have a waiting list, and that waiting list can vary from time to time. Obviously coming up to Christmas now, and the waiting list obviously can be a little bit longer, but I suppose we do try and walk through with the best that we can. And as quick as we can, I suppose, making sure that we do see everyone and get everyone the required support. But we do have a waiting list, yeah, and it can vary, from a week up to a few weeks, all dependent.
Which obviously it's not your fault. I mean, the more popular you get, the more people are going to want to use your service, and I mean, it's a big issue out there, I suppose, at the end of the day. When people go in to the building and they have their first appointment and it's all set up, what do they expect?
So I suppose the first appointment is always the assessment, so obviously we just go through a few details regarding their substance use and their history and stuff like that as well, and just to obviously get a broad understanding of the individual. And then basically we explain of the kind of approach and what we kind of do when we're here, and the services that we offer, so also holistic support and the groups that we run as well. So I suppose that we kind of break it down and kind of what we will be going through, what the person, I suppose, more importantly, because obviously it's a person-centered approach that we walk by. So obviously it's what the individual, the client needs and the support that they're looking for, and then obviously we meet them and work with that together.
That is absolutely brilliant. And I mean, obviously, different people have different needs, because I know with a lot of the fellowships, it's not client centered. And I suppose, because I know you guys do have fellowship meetings there, which is brilliant. And I'd say it can be difficult for a person to figure out what they need specifically. But I'm just wondering, is it just drugs and alcohol you would deal with, or is it also other addictions such as gambling, sex, all that stuff?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's not only drug and alcohol. We do offer support as well around sex and gambling and so on. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I mean, which would be more tougher to deal with? Somebody who's dealing with a substance issue, or someone that's dealing with a psychological issue?
There's no, I would, to answer that, it's nothing's actually tougher, if I'm being honest. It's kind of all the same. I suppose it's just we're working with individuals that's obviously presented with an issue, I suppose, and for a drug worker, I don't think that either or might be more difficult.
I suppose there are similarities within the addictions, where some addictions are different. I mean, I suppose just the one big similarity, which is the whole idea of behaviours and things like that. And I know there's this new therapeutic approach that's out there, this trans therapeutic approach that's out there. And do you guys use this new approach? I suppose it's the steps, that it's not the 12 steps, but it's like there are 7 steps. It's like there's intervention, there's pre-planning, all that stuff.
No, we don't use that approach.
Okay, and I just want to go on to this cocaine specific program. What exactly is it? How does it work, or how do you help people?
Yeah, so this program was set up in early 2023, as there was a high demand, I suppose, for the cocaine-specific group in the Clondalkin area. The main objective and aim for setting up the program is obviously to help and support the individuals who are problematic cocaine users in the Clondalkin and the wider area. So it's a 12-week treatment model, and we obviously cover various topics. So I suppose that we're kind of educating and giving them awareness as well. It's starting back up on the 27th of November, and will run for 12 weeks. So it's from every Wednesday from 5 o'clock to 6, probably 6:15. And the reason I suppose behind this is that with our service, that we believe that an increased awareness in the service users will obviously lead to an empowering them to make changes in their substance use and their associated behaviours. And that our model is a treatment that is designed by a team of experienced drug workers, with a range of interventional skills to equip the service users with the knowledge to make the change for problematic substance use. Yeah.
Brilliant. And it's like, yeah, because I know it's like, yeah, we know what you meant. It's people within the services and that put this all together, and it's a brilliant service that it's out there. Why do you think that cocaine use has become so prevalent? Because we're not a nation known really for our drinking anymore. It's more people are going out, and when they're drinking, they're using cocaine, or a lot of people now are dry drugging. Or somebody said it to me earlier on, actually, ironically enough, crack cocaine is probably more so the quote unquote new thing. It's like, I'll say exactly what he said to me. Cocaine's gone out with the Indians. It's all about crack now. Why do you believe that is?
Sorry, Kieran, just to start on why obviously cocaine is more prevalent now at the moment, or crack cocaine.
Well, I suppose it's more so it's crack now, but what do you think made coke become more widespread or more prevalent? Is it the system? Is it the way we're watching Netflix, we're watching Walter White, we're listening to rap music, all that stuff?
I suppose with powder cocaine, it's seen as a socially acceptable drug, that obviously it's used in pubs and, house parties, I suppose probably even, more of a wide range and places that it's probably being used. And I suppose people kind of see it as, if you look back when there was a heroin, epidemic, that, everyone's seen it as like, the dirty, the kind of filthy drug and stuff like that. And cocaine isn't seen like that. And, it's seen as it's more acceptable and to use, that more people obviously use it, whether it's people in high professions or so on and so forth. And, and it's used obviously, in settings where people obviously drink alcohol, which is also socially acceptable. And, and it's obviously a lot more young people are using now, but definitely with crack cocaine, and it's really on the rise at the moment, and that's something that obviously our service is seeing, and, a high demand as well around their crack cocaine users. And yeah, it's just like all drugs, they just, expand quite quickly.
Yeah, and then it's true the way, I suppose, socially we've changed, and there's different social stigmas around different drugs, whether they're legal or not. And I've heard cocaine was always described as a rich man's drug, whereas the way I suppose what's happening now is it's like what happened with heroin. And I mean, even that's a big issue at the moment, and especially because there's supposedly a big bad batch out there now, and it's killing people off, which is horrific at the end of the day. But and it's great that supports like yourselves are out there. Would you say now it's cocaine addiction or crack addiction that would be more prevalent in terms of your clients, or would it be other drugs? What would be the most common complaint, I suppose I'd say, for when people come into you?
Yeah, so a lot now of our clients that present to the service would definitely presenting with using crack or, powder cocaine and alcohol, yeah. They would probably be the highest at the moment.
And I mean, I'm gonna expose my ignorance a bit. I understand that cocaine in its powder form, and then crack cocaine, or crack rock as it's known, because it's smokable. But what are the differences between somebody that's using crack cocaine and that's using, I suppose, mainstream powder cocaine?
Yeah, so I suppose the only difference between powder cocaine and crack is that, the salt is obviously removed and, to form obviously the crack. And obviously when someone uses crack, it's mostly prevalent obviously used by smoking it. And obviously that injects it in a lot quicker into the system, into the, to get that high a lot quicker. And then obviously through nasal and using cocaine through your nasal and obviously has a slower kind of effect as well, do you know what I mean? So it can be, used more throughout the night and stuff like that also. But there's not really much of a difference. Obviously, one would kind of get you higher a lot quicker.
I'm wondering, and I've always wondered this, and I know the whole thing with addiction is it's the high, it's the instant gratification, it's the I want this now. But I've always wondered, was it more so, because I asked the guy earlier on, this is why he said to me about crack cocaine earlier on, I asked him, would it be more so smokers that would be more inclined to smoke, crack cocaine because it's smoking, although it's not, it's done with a pipe? Or, I mean, that's the thing. And then he said to me, well, no, it is more crack. It's snorting cocaine has gone out with the Indians. That's back in the days with your man, bloody, what's his name? Anyway. But I'm just wondering, what are the signs and symptoms of somebody who is using cocaine, and what should be the first step that someone takes if they suspect themselves or a loved one may be addicted to anything, not just coke?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's obviously, looking at that person and, has their behaviours and stuff changed? And, if they're out all night, are they coming home not being able to sleep? Are they getting up? Are they going to work? Are they doing the things that they normally do, like playing football or, going to the gym? And is their finances being affected? You know what I mean? Is their mood being affected? So I suppose there's a lot of things to be, looking out for, and especially with individuals kind of being mindful of themselves. Has things changed? Are they not being, social anymore? Are they kind of being in their home on their own and not kind of socialising and isolating themselves? So there is probably a few things that people obviously can look out for, but they would kind of be the main things as well. their mental health, I suppose, being affected, their health is being affected, their social kind of circle, their job, so on and so forth.
And I suppose it's like the withdrawals, I suppose, would be a big thing. They'd be more inclined to isolate. I'm wondering, can the withdrawals be fatal from this?
No, so with cocaine and crack cocaine, it's actually a psychological. So, you know, it actually works psychologically. So there's no actual physical withdrawal for someone who, you know, stops using either or drug for a few days.
So it's not really like with alcohol, I suppose, when...
Keys and stuff like that. No, there's actually no physical withdrawals, no physical symptoms, and from someone that will stop using for a day or two. No.
Brilliant. It's good to learn about these things because, I mean, there's a lot of people out there, they don't understand it, they don't understand why we go into addiction or why we pick specific drugs and that when we have every education in the world out there. I could just Google anything on my phone right this second, but I can't now because I'm videoing, but I could just do it, you know. I mean, I suppose there's different reasons for people going down those roads of addiction.
Yeah.
I suppose at the end of the day, I mean, we have to look out for ourselves. We have to look after ourselves. And I suppose are there still stigmas around these cocaine use?
Is there still stigma?
Yeah, like, I mean, are people still looked at? Is it still a rich man's drug, or has that changed?
Personally, I have no comment on that. No.
You're okay, and you know what? You're allowed to have your own personal opinions on it. And I mean, if there's anything you want to say, or if there's anything you want to ask, work away. Feel free, because I think this is something that affects us all. Because addiction is not just a personal illness or disease, whatever way you want to call it. It affects our communities. It affects everybody, and I mean, I think it is quite scary, to be honest, that it's how much it is. How much of a big effect it does have. But anyway, and I know you're in a rush now, because I mean, you've loads of stuff on now, you've loads of clients, your working day isn't finished yet, nor is mine, so I get the feeling. But if people are looking for help, how can they get in contact with your services?
So they can contact their service. So our phone number is 014572938, and then they can also just present to the service. So we're open from 9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, and then we are open on Wednesday from 9 to 8 o'clock, and on Friday we close at 4. So you can email us as well. Everything, we have a website, Tus Nua. .ie, so all the information about what we provide, what we offer, will all be on that. But yeah, if anyone needs any sort of support, or even, you know, a family member who is being affected by someone who's obviously using drugs within the family, and they can also contact the service for support. Brilliant,
Kelly. That's brilliant. And you know what? I'm so grateful that you came on, because I know you were a bit apprehensive on that. So, I mean, you felt the fear and did it anyway. So fair play to you. Thank you so much for coming on today, and I will be on to you very soon. Anytime, you're more than welcome on this show, anytime. Talk to you soon, bye. And there you go. That is Kelly Daly there from Clondalkin Tus Nua. Yes, I know she's a support worker, and I know she helps people and that, and she's not a radio person, and she didn't want to come on here, but she felt the fear and did it anyway. And that is something to think about, because if you turn around and if you are afraid of asking for help, reaching out for help, just feel the fear and do it anyway. I mean, you are quick enough to pick up a drug or go into your addiction or whatever, so be quick enough to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ever do it. Never be afraid. And that's what I always say on the show. Never be afraid to do it anyway. Anyway, where am I going next? Oh, there we go. I'm unfortunately going to have to end the YouTube stream. But what am I going to do?